good afternoon and welcome to this Valentine's Day edition of Go for Lunch. So let's get started. Switch over to the Inspecto Cam here and show you how that works. So the phone is off now. So I touch it and I put my face in front of it. So now it's unlocked. So now I'm going to simply hold down on the lock screen and we get the current lock screens that have already been loaded. We're going to start with this one. So then at the bottom here it says customize. We're going to tap on customize. Then we get a choice of doing the lock screen or the home screen. We're going to click on the lock screen. Okay. So let's see what that looks like here. So we're going to tap on the top section. So right now it is showing us the date and the wind conditions. So we can change that to say we want to know what the sunrise and sunset. So it tells us the next event, which would be the sunset, is at 6:09. We can also get the weather in a different location. So if we have to choose that location in our weather app. And as we scroll, we can go back to the date. We can go to our next event. We can get the time in a different city. We can see our next alarm. We can get information from Facebook, from our fitness app, from our health app, from third-party apps such as Overcast, which is a podcast app. We can see our reminders. We have 8 overdue reminders. We can get information from Snapchat, which failed to load. Stocks, Tempest, which is a weather station. Waterminder to remind us to keep hydrated. And then under weather, we have the weather conditions in a different city, weather conditions in our current city, windy and 57, the UV index, the phases of the moon, and now this one is buggy. It says 50% chance of precipitation in the next 7 days. I have had it give the percentage for the current day, but it doesn't always do that. And then there's the wind, 18 miles an hour, south-southwest, and the air quality index. So since today is windy, we're going to stay on the wind to keep an eye on that. So to close this, we hit the little X to the right of where it says close widget, and we can move down to the time. So we tap on the time and we get a choice of 8 different fonts that we can change here. And then below the fonts we have choices of colors. So we have these circles. I think these colors are taken from the existing graphic. In this case it's a stylized apple, and that's where they're getting these colors. However, if we want to get another greater choice of colors, we hit the red dot on the right, and that gives us a color grid. So we can go in here and change colors any way we want. We can also go to a spectrum, or we can go to sliders to really tweak the colors. If we know a color's hex code, we can put that in. And then down at the bottom in the center, you see a little plus sign. Once we tweak a custom color, we hit that plus sign, and that'll add it to our color palette here. So we're going to stick with that color there. We're going to hit the X to get out of there, hit the X to get out of font and color, and now we're going to go into the third section to add widgets. So now we have 2 types of widgets. We have half widgets and quarter widgets. So obviously we can put in 1/2 and 2 quarters, or we could put in 1, 2, 3, or 4 quarter. So here's one for my watch. Says that it is almost charged. And let's put in this widget, which is I think the UV index, and then we'll put in the weather, but we can also put in widgets from different apps. So some third-party apps support these widgets. And if they do, they would be in this list here. So that's how widgets work. So now you notice the gray background went away as we got out of the widget selection. So now it says it's 57 degrees and breezy, high is 62, low is 37, and our Apple Watch just got fully charged. I don't know if you noticed, the little lightning bolt disappeared just a second ago. So that is how we do the widgets. So if we go back to the iPhone, you can see at the bottom it says natural. We swipe from right to left, and we get black and white. We get duotone, and we get color wash. So if that tickles your fancy, those are there for your further customization. looks like. So the show photo in library does exactly what it says. It shows a photo in the library. And you can't select that photo. There's another way to do that. So now to get back to the lock screen, so now we're in our home screen. So to get back to the lock screen, we're going to hit the power button on the right hand side to turn off the iPhone. Then we're going to tap the iPhone to turn it on, show it our face, and now we're back into the lock screen. And we have to be quick about this because it times out. Face ID. Come on, Face ID. Okay, there's the Face ID. We hold it down. We're back here. Let's go back to the first screen. And we're getting notifications after I told it not to disturb me. We're going to click back on Customize, Lock Screen, and then we're going to add a new wallpaper. So let's look at that. So we're going to swipe from right to left. So we have to hit cancel to get out of there. Now swipe right to left. You can see we have different lock screens. Here's the one of the astronomy screens. It shows you a satellite view of North America. Here's the weather screen. Here's one that I did earlier. Here's an emoji screen. We'll talk about that. And now we're going to hit the plus in the center here to add a new lock screen. Then we get all sorts of choices. We have the featured, we have suggested photos, we have photo shuffle, which allows you to have the lock screen picture change, and weather and astronomy, Unity, emoji, collections, and then you can just do these different solid colors that are kind of gradients. So let's go back up here to the top and let's just choose photos. So at the top left, the blue circle says photos. And then we can choose pets. Pets. And so let's choose the black German Shepherd right there. And this is where we're going to demonstrate the depth effect. So hitting the circle in the lower right hand corner with the 3 dots, you can see the depth effect is chosen, is checked. And so you'll notice with her ears, they're partially covering the time. Now if we turn off depth effect, then time is covering the ears. So that's how that works. So now we can pinch the zoom. So if we make this bigger, then the time says, wait, I want to be on top. But if we make it smaller, then we can get that depth effect. So you don't, of course, cover up too much of the time. So something like that gives it that depth effect. So that's kind of a nice little feature there. So you can add any of your pictures from your photos and So let's see. Susan has some questions. And okay, so you have the sound now. Okay, sound is coming and going at your house. So yeah, I muted myself once, but oh, I see. Okay, so Carolyn, good point. So I must have a setting on one of my screens that is turning off the sound. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so apparently I'm assuming I have sound now. So I'm guessing that when I was on the iPhone, the sound was turned off. Let me just check that real quick. And no, it doesn't look like I'm muted when I'm on the iPhone, so I'm not sure what was going on there. Well, sorry about that. And let's see if on the Inspecto Cam, no, it's not muted there either. So, and it's not muted. So you're saying you don't hear me now, Susan. Carolyn, do you hear me now? So I will keep talking so you can tell whether or not you can hear me, and waiting for any questions. So play around with your home screen so you can customize it and see what you want to see when you want to see it. It's a good way to rotate through some of your pictures if you choose that selection. So I don't see any comments about the sound. Okay, so you hear me now. All right, well, if you think of any questions, you can certainly contact me via email or telephone. That information will be coming up here on a screen near you. And have a great rest of your Valentine's Day.